Good morning, just finished morning sessions, resistance bands, kettlebell, full body. Wanted to jump on and boxing. Wanted to jump on and just talk about a question I had yesterday and a discussion we had yesterday actually about how much exercise is enough, how long do you need to exercise for? And she mentioned that she'd done quite a lot of 30-minute sessions before and they've been really helpful because when it's 30 minutes, she actually feels like, yeah, I can do that. When it's an hour, she's like, yeah, I don't know if I've got time to fit it in, etc. We started chatting about that because I said, yeah, I feel very similar. A lot of ladies here feel the same way. And actually, when you look at what the research shows in terms of compensation as well, so if you look at the compensation effect of exercise, so when people exercise, they'll burn X amount of calories, right? So if you exercise for, say, so there's one study, I might butcher the exact here, but they did about 120 minutes of exercise in one group. The other group did 60 minutes of exercise, and the people who did 60 minutes of exercise, essentially over the day, were in more of a calorie deficit than the people who did 120 minutes of exercise, and that was because of people overcompensated. Now that is a slightly different take on what we're discussing here about how long is enough, right? So how long is enough? But it's important to think about the compensatory effects that we sometimes have on that, but also the fact, will you actually get it done? Number one, like I know for a fact that whoever you are, it's just human nature, right? If you've got to do something that's going to take you an hour, you might go, well, I've got to do this for an hour, so I might just hold back a little bit. If you've got half an hour, you might go, well, I've only got to do this for half an hour, so I might just give my all a bit more. And actually it might become more time efficient for you. You've then got half an hour to prepare your food. You've then got half an hour to get some bit more work done, and it's more achievable for your goals. And the argument that often comes up is, yeah, but I used to do an hour 15 years ago. Hey Keely, hey Karen, hey Mary, if you're coming in, give me a hello. And actually, we've just got to stop comparing ourselves to what we did years and years ago and just slowly build up. It might be that eventually we do increase that. And there's many ways you can change your body shape, get progression with that. And that is, in terms of the exercise side of it, time is one of the things. If you exercise for longer, right? So if you exercise for longer, you will increase your volume. And volume is the key thing here. If you exercise by lifting more resistance, again, that's a good thing because you're going to increase your volume. And volume is the sets you do, the reps you do, and the time you train for. If this keeps going up, then you're going to see progress. And that's that training effect, the strength effect, the fitness effect. We know that helps with our independence, our well-being, mental health, all of these benefits that are really unsexy, no one really talks about a lot, but it's really day-to-day life things and how we feel, our energy levels, and super, super important. Health. Now, you've then got to consider the question, is how much is enough when I'm trying to lose weight? Because this is actually a slightly different question. Now, of course, it depends what you're willing to do with your diet. If you're on a really aggressive diet, which is fine, by the way, if it's done properly, we know there's research on there. If done properly, this can be a perfectly fine way to lose weight, potentially type 2 diabetes in remission, it can be used, but the key thing was support and accountability they had in this study. However, if you are doing something like this, which is super low calorie, then you've got to consider, okay, is it wise that I'm trying to exercise for 2 hours a day when I'm barely eating anything? And then it makes it really hard. Rather, is it better that I just get enough done to keep my fitness level? I do things that are maybe lower impact, because this will take it less out of my central nervous system, there's less risk of injury. I'm gonna do more muscle toning stuff because it's almost thinking of exercise as the cherry on the top, that multiplier effect. So your body shaping effect, maintaining muscle as you lose body fat, changing shape. See it as that. So I've been doing that, more muscle shaping stuff with that as well. Of course, we want to get a bit of a calorie burn, but if we're doing that predominantly from nutrition, I'm talking about perhaps January more so. But this is another few things that we have to consider, because if we don't consider these things, you may end up setting yourself up for failure because it feels really hard. You feel like you should be doing it all, right? Have you ever felt like that before? Like you should be eating lower, you should be exercising more. And actually there's a balance between, what's the right balance between these? Is it actually that you exercise a little bit less, but you go a bit more aggressive with your nutrition because you're time poor at the moment, or vice versa? Actually, you want the fitness and strength is really, really important to you for your mental health. So actually, we can afford to exercise a little bit more, burn a few more calories from the exercise, and actually be a bit more flexible with our nutrition. It really depends on your goal. And these are just things to consider, otherwise we do end up going, we're trying to do everything. You can't do everything, but you can always do something. So just consider that, remember that whenever you go into that all or nothing space, that half an hour is actually a good amount of time for many reasons, and kind of that middle ground. But it might be that 15 minutes suits you, 10 minutes suits you, it might be that an hour suits you. You've got just got to do what works for you. And that's what we do in the Kickstart meeting at the start. So if you want more information about our January Kickstart, which starts in January, conveniently, just comment below January Kickstart, send me a message, I'll get you the details on that. But we start off with that one-to-one to see what your goals are actually at, like truly where your goals actually are. So have an awesome day, and I will see you soon. Take care.